Greetings and salutations, and this is Tech Plays here, back with more Silent Hill 2 Remake. And, oh boy, I am really happy about the part of the game we're on now. I kid you not. The apartments are great and all, but like, this game gets spookier and better as it goes, which is, not common for survival horror games. Even as like a big Resident Evil fan, I can't really say any Resident Evil game does that. A lot of Resident Evil games either peak in their first area or peak at the halfway point just about. Like in my opinion, the RE4 remake peaks in like the castle. Especially when you go fight like the Vertigo. That is my favorite boss, by the way. But it's still good for the rest of the game. Like, that's not to say like the rest of like each Resident Evil game isn't good. I'm just saying they usually don't peak at their end game. This game peaks near the end of the game, and you'll see what I mean by it. There is a section, the scariest fucking section in the game, even has like the most disturbing boss in the whole game. Near the end of this game, it's literally the section you go through before the final area of the game. It includes a prison and a labyrinth. For those who have played this game or played the original, you might know what I'm talking about. But yeah. So this isn't even the game at its best, but it is pretty damn close. This is probably my second favorite section of the game. This is the hospital, obviously. We came here during the last video. This is my section of the game next to the labyrinth / prison section, which I count as one big section because they kind of like feed into each other fairly naturally. Like they kind of naturally feed into each other. Like it feels like all one big long segment with those two, to me at least. So like yeah. James just looking out the open window. I don't even know if this is a cutscene. I should be talking over. I know I talk over Akumbot cutscenes, but that's just because, like, I don't care sometimes. I've played that game so long ago at this point that I just lost interest in the cutscenes, so I don't really watch them back much. Okay, this isn't gonna have to be one I go silent for.
Hey. You okay?
I'm sorry.
That's fine. What's going on? Are you hurt?
It's nothing. Probably just a hangover.
Maybe you should rest.
Yeah. Okay. So comfy.
I'm gonna go look for Laura. I'll be back as soon as I can.
James? I wanted to ask you. What if you can't find Mary? What will you do?
I haven't really thought about that.
Get back soon, okay?
So let me get into, well, I'll get into the non-spoiler reasons why I like the hospital. I'm not going to be mentioning, like, some of the later stuff that makes me love this place even more just yet, because I want it to be left for a surprise for the video for those who have not played this game. Actually, for those who have not played this game, go play it. Even if you see, like, what I'm doing in the game, in the videos, still go play it. Even knowing what's coming. Like, this game is still great. I can confirm that. I did a replay of this game. I can confirm it's still fantastic. It's still just as spooky, even if you know everything that's coming. So, like, yeah. Just enjoy. Go get the game and enjoy. It was on sale for I should have said this earlier, actually, because it was on sale on PlayStation 5. So I could have said, oh, PlayStation 5 users, it's on sale for, like, almost half off. It was like $47, I think, which is like almost half the price of its full price, because it's like $70 usually. I'm speaking in, I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't know if sales on like PSN and stuff is like international, or if it's like just for the US, and like say the UK or Japan have like different sales and stuff. I have no idea on that. So if you're not in the US, don't quote me on this. If you got the, like, if you looked at the game, if you just so happened to look at the game a few weeks ago and it wasn't on sale in your area or in your country, don't quote me on this, because I don't know if, like, that would be something fun to test, actually. Like, get one of my, like, friends from, like, the UK or something, because I have quite a few UK friends. I also have a couple friends from Australia. Dude, I got friends. Well, here's the thing. I'm talking about friends I talk to online, obviously, not friends I talk to in person. I have friends from, like, varying areas of the world, man. And it's kind of cool. Kind of cool sometimes. Not even gonna lie, kind of cool sometimes. I have fun. I have a little more fun talking to people who aren't American for the most part. There are a few, like, American friends I have that I do love talking to, but, like, people from other countries are more fun. I'm just gonna say it. Like, us Americans, we're kind of boring by comparison. People from other countries are just more fun. Like, here's one example here. And no, before I say this, I'm not one of those people that thinks you should be able to make, like, insensitive jokes and shit just because I say this. Because even, like, the friends I have from other countries don't make those kind of jokes. So no, if you're watching this video and you're looking for an excuse to, like, be a racist or something, no. That is not what I'm saying. But Americans, man, like, we're one way or another. Like, I just brought up one of the ways. We're one way or another. We either can't take a joke, or we use, like, the excuse, oh, no one can take a joke, to excuse making bigoted jokes that are insensitive, that are intolerant, that are horrible. Hell, when I was younger, I think I might have made a joke like that. Like, not even, like, from, like, a bigoted standpoint. I just didn't know better. Like, I'm talking about when I was, like, a little kid. Don't know for sure, but if I did, it's most likely I just didn't know better. But now I do. And those kind of jokes really bug me. But that's the problem with Americans. We do, like, the thing I love about talking to people from other countries is I can make any kind of joke that isn't, like, that isn't bigoted. And so can they. And we're just chill about it. That's what I love about, like, there are a few Americans that are like that, obviously. Like, I can make almost any type of joke with Lou, the friend I mentioned in the last, one of the friends I mentioned in the last Aquabot video that goes up 2 days before this. I can make almost any kind of joke with my friend Mason, somebody I play Minecraft and some other games with. He was in one of my Resident Evil Revelation streams back when I was trying out streaming. Didn't work out, obviously. I went back to Let's Play videos. Like, obviously, there are a few, like, there are some Americans that are normal people. They aren't fucking bigots, or I don't want to use the word snowflake because that makes me sound like the fucking bigots. I don't... You can tell how much in the middle I am. Like, I literally only recently started supporting liberal just because I hate Trump that much. Just for a brief political stance real quick. You don't gotta agree with me. The only thing I will say is this. If you support Trump, don't watch my videos. If you support Trump, don't watch my videos. I don't care if you're liberal, I don't care if you're old school conservative, as in like you supported conservative candidates before Trump, but you don't like Trump. I don't care if you're in the middle like me, you're anti-political, you're libertarian. I don't care about none of that. As long as you ain't a Trumpist. That's the one political stance, at least American political stance, that isn't welcome to my channel. If you're a Trumpist, which is what I call Trump cult members, because it is a cult, it's not supporters, it's a fucking cult. If you're a Trumpist, you're not welcome here. All I'm saying. Anyway, off political talk, because I don't like to talk politics in my videos. It just happens. I think I've expressed that quite a few times, that I don't like bringing up politics. Sometimes it just happens. Because a lot of like the rambling and commentary and stuff I do in these videos is just saying what's on my mind. And unfortunately, sometimes politics are on the mind. I really wish they weren't. I wish, honestly, quite honestly, I wish I could just live in a world where like I could ignore politics and never have to suffer from what politics do. But that just ain't the world we live in, unfortunately. Because that's how I lived for a few years. I'm not even gonna lie, from like, I wanna say from 2018 to like 2021 or 2022, something like that. I just chose to ignore all politics. I did not give a fuck. I got tired of hearing about Trump's dumbass all the time. I got tired of like all the lies, obvious lies and stuff that like the media tells and like all that stuff. I got tired of it. I got real tired of it real fast. And like, brief history on my political stance. I started out liberal. I did start out liberal. The first time I actually like took a political stance was around the 2016 election. I started out liberal. Then somebody in my family talked me into, and I hate admitting this because looking back, I want to punch myself for ever like being talked into it. Someone in my family basically talked me into supporting Trump. I didn't vote, obviously. I was too young. Thankfully, I didn't vote because I don't think I could honestly live with myself if I ever voted Trump. But for a brief few months, I went from liberal to, I'm not even going to call it conservative. They don't even deserve to be called that. I went from political to Trumpist. And then after those few months, I noticed how much of a cult his followers are. I went back to noticing, because I did notice how horrible he was. It's just the person who talked me into supporting him, I'm not going to name names, basically made up all like excuses and stuff for everything, and I got manipulated is basically what happened. And basically, over the course of a few months after Trump got elected, I quickly realized that I was right in the first place, and just ditched that. From that point, I didn't start ignoring politics yet, but I was in the middle. I didn't really want to support Trump because I hate Trump, and I've hated him since like I realized I was manipulated. I hate Trump. And I didn't want to support like liberals at the time because liberals at the time was Hillary Clinton, and I don't like Hillary Clinton either. I know I said I would stop talking politics, but I want to get this out of the way so it's like understood. Then like sometime in 2018, I just decided, fuck it, I don't want to think about politics at all. Trump is an idiot, but he ain't really doing anything to kill us. Let's just ignore it. And I did that for like 3 years. The only like time I paid attention to politics was the 2020 election, and then like quickly after just dropped it again for like another year and a half. Then I started caring again like in late 2021 because Trump supporters got worse. They were already bad, but I could ignore them. Trump supporters got to a point where I couldn't really I couldn't go like a day without seeing some idiot fucking preaching some nonsense about their fucking savior. That's what I'm calling him, because it is a fucking cult, as I mentioned before. Like, honestly, Trump supporters are one of the main reasons I hate him. Like, I honestly, if it wasn't for, like, how fucked up a human being he is, and his supporters, I don't think I'd give a shit about him. I actually didn't give a shit about him for a few years, as I previously established. But now he's worse, and so are his supporters. So it's like, fam. To any Trump supporters that are watching this video, do know you are like the primary reason I hate this man. Because this man is already a horrible person. He already says horrible things, plans to do horrible things, all that shit. I would already not like him. I would already be scared of what's to come without y'all being like this. But I swear, I always hear, like, I always see stuff like Trump supporters being like, liberals are so, like, it's like liberals are so sensitive they can't listen to like things we say. No, fam, you can't listen to stuff we say. You can't listen to stuff we say. Something that Trump supporters don't understand is that, well, at least most of them. I know there are a few Trump supporters that are actually decent people who were just manipulated like I once was. I know there's a few like that, but a majority of them are like this, what I'm about to say. Something that Trump supporters don't understand is that an argument is a two-way interaction, right? So is a debate. Whether it's an argument or a debate, they're a two-way interaction. Both sides need to present their points and explain themselves and say all the stuff they know, all the stuff, like, all, maybe proof they have, whatever, all that stuff, right? Trump supporters think like this. They think the moment you argue back with them, they keep in mind they start an argument with you, and 9 times out of 10 they're the ones starting the argument. From what I've seen. Anyway, what was I saying? They don't understand that, like, when they argue with you, you can argue back. They don't understand that. They think an argument is them arguing with you and you just taking it. That seems to be what they think, because they always complain about liberals not wanting to listen to them. And then whenever I see an argument between, like, Trump supporters and liberals, I see, like, the liberal side actually saying shit that matters, and then whoever, like, the Trump supporter is like, I don't care, I still believe this, all that. It's basically one side talking to a brick wall, and the brick wall is the Trump supporters. That's what it is. And Trump supporters just can't accept that an argument is a two-way street. It goes back and forth. They just can't accept that. That's what their problem is, and that's why they think liberals won't listen to them, even though they're the ones that won't listen. And if they could realize that, that would be the first step to them, like, not being so horrible. But they're obviously the biggest step they'd have to make is not support Trump, but, you know, baby steps. If they could, like, if almost all Trump supporters could just realize that an argument is a back and forth, not one person being argued with and the other person just accepting. Like, okay, the sooner they realize that, like, an argument is a back and forth thing and not you arguing against someone and not someone just taking it, the closer we get to them being decent people. But they can't do that. Something I've noticed about Trump supporters is a majority of them, I almost want to say they, like, show narcissistic tendencies, kind of, because they always think, maybe not narcissistic, I don't know if that's the right word, I don't know what word to use, honestly, because I don't want to like throw out a word and then like that be the like incorrect. So I'm just gonna take back that narcissistic thing because I don't even know if it's the right term, honestly, for what I'm about to explain. The main issue with Trump supporters, they always think they're right. They won't listen to anyone who says anything from a different point of view. That is the main difference between liberals and Trump supporters. Liberals will actually listen to your view. They may not like it and they may argue with it, but they'll fucking listen. They'll acknowledge what you're saying. Trump supporters will just be like, I don't care. I still believe this. They basically say that, but turn it into like a lengthy like backlash to the other party. And yeah, it honestly doesn't surprise me they act like that, considering the man they support literally threw a tantrum from losing the 2020 election. So can't say it surprises me. Oh, Resident Evil typewriter, that's cool. But yeah. Sorry for talking politics for like 20 minutes straight. I did not mean to do that. I know I don't like talking politics in my videos, but it was just on the mind. Sometimes that shit happens, and I just hate it. I wish I could just never think about politics. That's the thing. I wish I could live in a world where like politics did not matter to me, where I could just ignore them, live my life and stuff. But no, Trump makes me need to care about politics because he is that bad. I'm sorry for rambling about this. I should be talking about the game I'm playing. Not like, it's just been bugging me. I said in like the last Accombot video that I have felt way better mentally since the year started, because last year ended like hell for me. The only good thing that came out of the like last third of last year was Kendrick dropping, and Kendrick dropping was kind of the start of me feeling better. But and then 2025 came, and it just felt good to get out of a year that ended really bad for me. But like, first of all, I might have mentioned this before. I had a friend that I was friends with for like 4 or 5 years, something like that. I think 4 years. Suddenly turned on me back in like at the end of September, literally the tail end of September. And then like for the whole month of October, I felt depressed as fuck over it. I'm not going to go into details what this friend did exactly, because I'm not the only person they hurt in the whole situation. They hurt like 3 other people too. Even manipulated somebody, from my understanding. Actually, I know for a fact they manipulated 1 person, because it's the only thing that adds up. But yeah, I know I'm not a perfect person. I know I have flaws and stuff, but like, I don't feel like after this situation, I've made like an extra effort to actually talk to most people. I know I might slip up sometimes and still like make assumptions and stuff, but like I try my best to like actually make an effort to talk to people and like give people second chances and stuff. Like extra hard after that. I've also become way less of a people pleaser, so like me saying these things isn't me being a people pleaser. It's just me being smarter about situations. Because like I went through a people pleaser phase leading up to that, and that basically broke my people pleaser phase. Because I basically went, the only thing I could have done to like scare this friend off was be too nice. Because I thought back to everything I said and did around that friend and to that friend the few months leading up to that, and I couldn't for the life of me, like, literally, I spent like a week or 2 thinking about this. This wasn't me just like being blind and thinking I was in the right or something. No, I wanted to be in the wrong. I wanted desperately to be in the wrong, because in my mind, in retrospect, it was probably better I wasn't in the wrong, because I'd probably still hate myself over it. But at the time, it just seemed like in my mind, for some reason, I had this logic that if it was my fault, at least I could do something. At least I could learn from it and do something to improve, right? But I had to know what I did. But it wasn't my fault. The other thing is, if it was my fault, maybe I could have found a way to, like, make things right with that friend. Maybe I could have, like, patched things up, whatever I did. But no. No, I thought back to, like, the few months leading up to that, and it's just like, there was nothing I could have done, like... I spent like 2 weeks wondering what I did wrong, trying to find what I did wrong, thinking that I just did like a really shitty thing, but then like in the end I just realized I was wasting my time trying to like not acknowledge that somebody that I was friends with for 4 years just turned out to be a shitty person. I didn't want to believe that. Like, that to me seemed more depressing to believe than it being my fault. In retrospect, it being my fault probably would have hurt worse in the long run, like in the long term. But in the short term, it would have been easier on me because at the time it would have been easier on me. Because the thing is, finding out a friend that you've been friends with for 4 years is just a shitty person, and you just never realized it, and you've probably let them get away with so much shitty behavior without even noticing. That's what happened with me, and like that hurt a lot. It made me feel like a bad person for associating with this friend. It made me feel stupid for ever trusting this friend. It hurt like hell because this friend was basically being fake to me the whole time. If I am right about this, which I think I am, because I don't know what I just can't fathom what could possess somebody to like end a friendship that's lasted so long over seemingly nothing. I'm still confused about that. Like, even though it's obvious that like in the end it isn't my fault, and even if it was my fault, this person ended up doing like some pretty bad things to other people just to get away from me, which hurt like hell. Not just because some of these other people were my friends and still are my friends, but because this person hated me so bad. This person I cared about for nearly 5 years hated me so bad that they were willing to hurt other friends of mine, friends of theirs too. They were willing to hurt other friends of theirs to just to get away from me. And that's so sickening. Like that, my God. Like you could see why it hurt so bad. Like not even just from the perspective of they hated me so bad they ended up doing that. Not even just that. It hurt so bad because like just think about it. It was that like after like processing all that, spending 2 weeks trying to find out what I did wrong, why it was my fault, all that stuff. And coming to that conclusion and everything, right? After all that, it made me feel horrible. Because I had been friends with somebody who is that evil. Now, I'm not going into detail what this person did that I find so evil. Because, like, I might have in the past, if I not even realize it. As much as I hate this person now and as evil as I think this person is, I'm the type of person where I feel like it's like drama and issues you have with other people should not be brought to the public. Unless that person did like a really fucked up thing way beyond what this friend did. even as horrible as this friend treated me and like other people, right? They never did like stuff on the level of what I consider should be exposed. And I'm not gonna name drop this friend either for similar reasons. Like, I feel like issues you have, like personal issues you have with people you've dealt with, that's your business and their business. That's not something to share with like, it's not something you just share like openly on the internet with random people. Which is why I haven't done that. Like, I basically have only said it to other friends of mine what happened and warned them about the person. And that's it. I have not like gone beyond that because I don't want to out this person publicly. If I outed this person publicly, I'd be almost as evil as this person, because that's an evil thing to do. This person didn't do anything like, I don't want to say the, I'll use another word. If the only way I would out this person publicly online and stuff is if they SA'd someone, using that word because the other word makes me super uncomfortable. The R word I'm talking about, that makes me super uncomfortable to say. If this person SA'd someone, killed someone, or like committed some horrid crime on the level of those things, then yeah, I would out them. No doubt, I would fucking out them. But they didn't do anything like that. Again, I'm not going to go into the details on what they did, but they didn't do anything to that degree, and that's why I don't feel like it's right to out them, and why I want to leave them nameless and leave out as many details as possible, because, like, as much as I hate this person, I refuse to stoop to their level. And even though it's not doing the same thing they did, and I still wouldn't consider it as bad as what they did, I still feel like I'd be just as bad, if not almost as bad, as this former friend if I did that. And I just refuse to do that. No. I refuse to do that. I'm a good person with a good heart. I truly believe that. I'm a good person with a good heart. My parents raised me better than to like be a horrible person, even in response to someone else being a horrible person to me. And I'm not doing that. I know that my mom would not want me doing that. I mentioned in the last video what happened to her. Not in detail, but like briefly, because bringing her up makes me depressed. She would not want me doing that to somebody. Ever since she passed away, right? Almost every major, like, bad thing I think about doing, it's way easier to resist now, because like all I gotta do is think about my mom, and I'm just like, she wouldn't want me doing this. Like, that's all I gotta do. It's so easy to avoid being a horrible person now. Cause like, okay, I never was really a horrible person. Like, I did some like bad things throughout my life. Mostly by accident or just from me having a temper. My temper is way more calm these days, obviously. But mostly from my temper and by mistake and stuff, like all that. Nothing on par with the friend that I mentioned, by the way. But, I've never been a horrible person. I'm more so just saying, like, it's easier to be a good person now. Because I have, like, a good reason to be a good person beyond I just want to be a good person, which is basically what my reason was for years. I have a really good reason now. My mom's not with me anymore, and she wouldn't want me being a bad person. And that is a really strong thing. As much as it hurts me that she's gone, the one thing she left me with was strong morals and the fact that all I gotta do is think about her to stay a good person. I'm not gonna cry. I promise you, I'm not gonna cry. If I start crying, I'll stop the commentary. We only got a couple minutes of the video anyway. But you can tell in my voice that I feel like crying. Probably. I'm guessing, because to myself I sound like I'm about to cry. Losing a parent does a lot to you. It makes you depressed. And one way or another, it's gonna change how you act. Luckily I feel like I'm just lucky with how it affected me outside of being depressed about it whenever I think about it. Because some people might have become worse. I feel like I became better from it. I feel like her memory just makes me way stronger mentally, makes me way stronger morally. And that's what she left me with. She left me with her memory, which keeps me strong, both mentally and morally, and that's probably the best thing I could have asked her to leave me with. You don't know how weak I felt for years. Even like the few months after her death. You don't know how weak, like that especially was probably like the weakest I ever felt. You don't know how weak mentally and morally I felt for years. Like, there's a reason I got to a point where I was in a people pleaser phase. There's a reason for that. Because I felt so mentally and morally weak that I basically panicked at the thought of not being a good person. But as time has gone on, all I gotta do is remember my mom. And it makes me the strongest I've ever been. Sorry for getting emotional. I got serious last video and then emotional this one. Sorry. I am gonna have to end it off here though, so bye.